do have one side that's not quite carved as much as I like, but I think we're going to be okay. All right, so what I also need to do is I have that hole in the middle, in the center, so we're going to have to try and find that. You would think I would have done it before. It's actually right in the center here. So just turn. Remember, my cake was frozen a little bit, so it's going to be, I'm going to turn it to get it down through that frozen cake. If you are stacking more cakes, don't forget you might have a board in there. Make sure you got a hole in that thing. Okay, and as you can see, it's coming out the bottom, which is good. So you just pull that out because you want a hole the way through. I can see it. Don't worry, that's all going to get colored. You won't see any of the frosting or anything, but we do have a hole now all the way through. If you're worried that you are not going to be able to find that hole, then make the hole as you stack them, okay? I don't have a problem, doing that, but some people, they're really worried they're not going to be able to find it. So you can put one layer on and push the pipe through, and then put another layer on, push the pipe through, and then the fondant on, and you'll have the hole. If you're really worried about that, you can do it. Don't have to do it. Live dangerously like all of us do. Where's the thrill? Okay, so we've got that. We've got the hole in the center. What I want to do now is I do want to measure my pipe, because I actually want this to go through to the bottom, and I want a little bit, okay, and I'm resting on the board, and then I want a little bit of extra, about that much extra right there. So let me mark that. And that's probably about an inch. It's a food safe pen, don't worry about it. Not that it's going to touch any food. Yep, it's an inch. So an inch off the top of the cake, and I'm going to want to cut that. It's going to crook it too. I'll straighten it out. Okay, because I want my pipe to stop there. And I also want to make sure there's no cake in it. And then I'm just going to cut that. That's going to be the top. My crystal ball is going to sit on that. So I have, these are pruning shears that I only use for my cake stuff. All right. So now when I put that in, I should be able to see all the way through to the bottom, which I could if there weren't cake crumbs in there. I'll have to get the cake crumbs out again. And then I've got a little bit up here, and I'm going to cover that with the black fondant so you won't see it. All right, let's get this out of here, and let's start working on our crystal ball. I'll let this sit aside for a few minutes. Got to get that extra cake out. There we go. Don't want that to interfere with anything. Okay, we'll set this aside. And this will set aside too so that we don't lose it. Let's get the crumbs out of here. And let's start working on that crystal ball. We're done with this. First thing I need to do is I need to take some white fondant, and I need to make the claws. I have 4 claws that are going to come up to hold the ball in place, and I have a little holder, a little place for the ball to sit on. So let's grab some white fondant, and we're going to grab a little bit of Tylose. I have some Tylose here, and because I want it to stiffen it up like gum paste, it'll be a modified fondant, so it'll be strong enough for what we're using it for. So let me get a nice chunk of it out. And what we're going to do is we need to dye it gray, because nothing's white. This is a Halloween cake. So we're going to dye it gray. So you can do that one of 2 ways. One way is to put a little bit of black gel in it, a little bit of food color or paste gel. That's black. The other way is just to add a little bit of the black fondant I had into this, and that'll turn it gray. So that's going to be my option. So I have a little bit of black, and you just put it in here and then mix it together, and you'll end up with gray. So either one works. The nice thing about this is, since I'm not using a food color, I don't get it really all over my hands. And you notice I didn't have to use very much. A little bit really goes a long way. I am going to make it just a teeny bit darker. Okay. And there's a couple things I'm going to make out of this. I also need to make the skull that goes on the inside. That's what my chocolate mold is for. And that's going to be gray. I suppose you can make it like an eerie green or something weird like that. They have those fluorescent, those neon food colors, you know, electric green, and that you can make it something really creepy. Okay. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of that talons. You just need a little bit. This is only like half a cup. So you need, you know, 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon. I got kind of a lot in there. It tends to stiffen up as it sits. So if you put too much in, you'll come back to it and it'll be rock hard and you won't be able to work with it. So try not to put too much in. On my hands. It's a little sticky. Okay, and we're going to roll this out.